Editing your podcast can really be as simple as 1, 2, 3. 3 steps to editing your podcast, and you can just make this your weekly or however often you release your podcast workflow. Number 1 is cutting out all the fluff. Get rid of those long pauses. Get rid of those extraneous noises in the background. All those little things that you just don't need. Maybe you had a guest on who was particularly long-winded. You can cut off some of their responses. Start by cutting out the fluff so you have the body of content you want. The second step is then leveling out the audio. There's nothing worse than having 2 people talking on a podcast and they're different volumes. You're riding the knob while you're listening to it, right? One person's really loud in your ear, and then the next person jumps in, you can barely hear them. Leveling out the audio through something called dynamics processing or compression is the best way to make sure your listener experience is smooth. And finally, clean up that background noise. Likely, especially if you're interviewing somebody who might not have a professional studio setup, maybe they're just on their phone, you'll want to clean up some of that background noise so that it's more tolerable for a listener. Now, you don't have to make this absolutely perfect. That's the beauty of podcasting. There's a little bit of room for natural sounding audio in there without it being perfectly pristine, but you still want to make it so that it's not distracting. You do this by putting in something called a high pass filter. What that does is it mutes all the noise below a certain frequency and cleans up your audio. And there are other ways to do this too, and new AI tools that are coming out that can also help you clean up that background noise. So it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 when it comes to editing your podcast. Start by cutting down that fluff. Next, go into leveling out your audio levels. And finally, remove that background noise.